I'm Darian E. Shell, aka Nikki J. I'm gonna just jump right in while I'm thinking about it. So, first I'll start off with saying that like I was just outside taking a walk, and the perfect time for the air to be. Uh, it's the perfect time for to be out walking in the air and the darkness and everything just does what it does to your brain, right? Um, and it brought me to one thing, but before I go there, I'm gonna say that like some of the spirits that's been coming through, like that I've been connecting with, um, on all realms. I was told like I was the first in the environment of me to most people, and I'm like, okay, I never thought about it, but I guess okay, and especially like a lot of women, um, and like a couple of the women came through, and it was like, well, kind of essentially, there were times where they pretty much like kept an eye on the type of men or boys or whatever that I was connecting with or attracted to, and dealing with for certain times for them, as far as like them trying to figure out uh the type of men that would be good for them dating them. Like something kind of about like kind of trusting my, because of everything I had been through and just observing me, trusting my ability to um choose safe relationships, and also to have a good, I don't want to say but like I guess like a measure for like some of the men that they were dating or attracted to or whatever. And I'm like, damn, I never ever thought of that. Like, especially like considering that I haven't been in many what I would call like actual reciprocal relationships. Like I'm very, very kind of like let's go with the flow type of woman. Like I mean I've been teased about being a masculine plenty of times. And sometimes I can see like why it would be said, and other times I'm like, yeah, that's offensive. That's offensive. I'm better than them because I'm me. I'm a woman. I'm a feminine. But like, I'm a female. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. Like I'm a black woman. And not to take away nothing from the men, but I just always think that like, of course, well, they don't think like we make everything better. So if anything, they were just seeing like reflections of me throughout them. And but that was like a really interesting thing. And even when I heard it back then, it went it took me somewhere else. And then when it came to this, I'm like, well, I don't know, cause I guess like none of the men were like, I mean, they were cool for me in the moment, apparently, like whatever moments. So I guess I did a good job, cause like I'm gonna start wherever we gonna start at, and I'm gonna let you do the rest. Like I'm really, I when I was way younger, I went through the whole I'm gonna tell you what I want. Oh, I want this or blah blah. Like I did all that shit that we were spoon fed to do. Like early. I got that out the way early. Um, and so just from learning in my experiences, like with trying to date, with trying to find partner or partners that were suitable for me, and without going too much out of my comfort zone and off my own path, and making sure that I kept myself protected and bubble wrapped, because like I don't need anybody to tell me who I am as a woman, like as a fucking supreme being, as a creator, as a guy, right? Like I know how to do shit. I know how to take care of me. I know how to take care of other people. Like I don't need nobody telling me what I gotta do to keep a damn man. Like it's no good luck with that shit. No, I don't wanna do it. And we live in cultures where like it's always one check after another. Like they want you to check shit off. No, I'm okay. No, thank you. So I never. I mean, I feel like I connect with great men. Like, of course, like I know what I'm trying. I know what I want. I ain't really about to be indulgent with nobody that's mediocre for real. Like, if I can help, like, no. Every step I go up, I elevate. Like that's the plan. Every time I touch down, like the next time around, I learn some more and I go up. I've always said that. I've always been able to recognize that. And coming from somewhere where like I ain't have no good examples and I ain't have like for real to me. I mean, I seen a couple people here and there, but nothing that I wanted to really emulate. Um, I think that I've done really, really well. Like every time I've skipped a lot of shit. I've learned some things. I've said whatever. So getting that message from from my spiritual team or from the spiritual side, from whoever sent it, as far as me being a good like template that women were following when it came to like connecting with men and dating men or whatever. I was like, oh, because it came to me again when I was out walking. And I'm like, okay, because before that came up, it was just me walking. And I was just like, for whatever reason, one of the girls that I had been, well, it's been a lot of people coming through, but one of the girls that I used to be really cool with back in the day, like probably in my 20s and early 30s, like she she was coming through strong and I haven't talked to her in years, probably since 2016. Like we fell out. We had already walked going apart, but we fell out because the last time, because I felt like she was trying to take advantage of my friendship and my kind-heartedness and like all of that, and she was having some kind of contest at her job because she worked at the one of the a bank that I bank at, and she was saying like they was having some kind of contest to like who could open up an account for whatever, something that they do at the bank, like whatever, credit account. And I had told her like she could go ahead and put my application in, you know, because they were supposed to get a prize for the person that did the most. And I was like, well, they gonna deny me, but you can go ahead and do it, like it's fine. And then like move on. I got approved, and then move on. And then like one day we were having a conversation, and essentially she could pretty much was like asking me to put her a flight to a speaking engagement, to book her flight. Like she had a speaking engagement or something, and she was just like, I want you to book my flight. Well, she said it in a whole bunch of other ways, like God told me to tell you that you should, or whatever, bless her and book her flight to wherever she was going. And I'm like, yeah, and I was like, I don't got no money for that. And she was like, well, you got your credit card that I had just helped, like that she had just, I ain't gonna say help me get, but I guess help me get. Using all my information through that shit. Like, right, I thought I was helping somebody else. And I was like, oh, okay, when I got approved, but I wasn't even using the card myself at the time. And I'm like, she was like, well, you got the credit card. And I'm like, no, no, I'm not using that. No, I don't even use that. And then like, she had asked me if I would go into, like, if I would, something about my account, like, if she could take the money on my account and it will overdraw. Like, but that was like one thing. And then like another time she was like, her card note was late or something. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, well, can I take the money out your account and just pay you back when I get paid? And I'm like, no, I don't even really use that account no more, because at the time the bank that she was working at, it was just like one of my accounts. I had like different accounts. I wasn't really sure how I was gonna maneuver it, and then I still had opened it because like it was a benefit to it for me. So to have it. But I mean, I work like check to check, so until I can figure it out, like it's just gonna be there. So when she asked me, cause she like overdraw my account, like take my, I'm like, there's no money in there, and she was like, yeah, but I'll overdraw it. It'll overdraw, like it'll go through whatever, and then like I'll just pay you back when I get paid. And I'm like, I'm not letting somebody else overdraw my account, like. No, thank you. And then she got mad. Like both times I said no to that. Like she was upset, had an attitude, and then the issue with it for me was that like I don't like people doing nothing to me. I be real funny about giving my information away. Like no matter what, like I be trying to protect myself the best way possible, right? And so I had already thought like when she asked me to do it at first, and I was like, okay. Then when I got approved, I was like, I don't know really what they have access to at the like, whatever she gonna have access to. And then I was just like, I really hope that she don't think that I'ma owe her some shit just because she is helping me out, right? Like, I mean, yeah, like fuck it. Like you came to me for whatever, and I gave you the permission, and then it was done, and I was approved, and then I'm like, man, I hope it don't really become no thing where she think like now I'm supposed to use this for her, like now like she got it for me or something. And that's exactly what happened. And I was like so disappointed and so frustrated, like, man, why the fuck do people always think that they entitled to your shit? Like I give away so much stuff, like just based off of who I am. Like no matter how I move, no matter if I'm living check to check or not, like I always feel like I'm gonna be taken care of, and I've always moved like that, and I'm always there for people and everything, and we have been reciprocal for each other as far as I'm concerned, you know. But and to be honest, it always feel like I'm way more in ahead of times and shit. Like always, like sewing in way more than most people around me, and whatever. Like it's extra, hey. But like, so then that happened, and then she came to me months later, like, and I was just kind of like stewing, and then it was like a couple other people saying that like they, you know, that they had like coming around, like they own things, like they was feeling some kind of way or whatever about whatever. I don't really be following nobody else's shit. I just kind of listen, and I'll be like, all right, like, yeah, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that, and then I notate it for information. So then like months go by, and like then, and so we wasn't really kicking it. She was kicking with like other people that we were cool with or whatever. And I was getting so much information coming back about shit that was going on. I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like, I don't really know what she dipping into, but I ain't really, you know, like whatever. And then the point came where she like tried to check me for like being Facebook friends with like her ex or something like that. I'm like, nigga, is that what we doing? Like, that shit is Facebook. Like, what? And she like kind of blew down for real, like tried to be like blah 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 blah, like I ain't no friend, I don't know what, like all this other shit. And I'm like, yeah, all right, like technically I kind of knew him, like even if it's just a Facebook, like I was aware of who he was, and I was Facebook friends with him before you and him ever committed anything or did anything. And she just like, if you was a real friend and you know what we've been through, I've been through with him, and you and all this other shit. And I'm like, hey man, like I already know what all that is. This shit is Facebook. I don't really have to do it. And then on the other side, cause she was like, I liked the post. It wasn't just being his friends. It was like I was still his friend, but I liked one of his like Facebook posts. I'm like, what the fuck type shit y'all got going on? Like, what kind of shit you got going on where you stalking shit like, oh, that you know I likes a Facebook post, nigga. It's Facebook. When I turn on the damn thing of my damn timeline, going down the timeline, if I'm liking some shit, I'm liking some shit. Like, I don't necessarily know who the shit it was. Like, you doing way too much, shorty. Like, hey, man, get this shit out of here. And I kind of was like, hey, if that's how you feel, like, I ain't no friend. Like, all right, whatever. Like, whatever, we can end this shit now. Like, I don't really, it ain't no big deal. And then like another girl of mine that I had been cool with, like we had just had like a kind of like a falling out type of thing too. simply because like she tried to hook me up with a dude like she used to fuck with or something, and then like me and him had talked a couple times, or he reached out, whatever, and then like when I found out like they used to fuck, I'm like fuck around, and like he still had feelings for her. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, nah, shorty, like don't do that with me. Like, I don't. This he wants you. He talking to, and you trying to hook. Like no. And then I was like, and I would have just have liked the information. Like if I was still gonna tap in, I was gonna tap in. But to hear everything from him, like, I don't like it. And I don't like really feeling like I don't really like how people move. Like I don't even like how it was being moved. And also I'm like people move different than me. Like I didn't necessarily, it didn't have to be a setup. I ain't like it. And then like so that was like a thing. So then like when this one, and like we were all separate friends, like well yeah, we all had separate friendships with each other, and then like whatever. So like I got like me and her was having a moment, and then like when she came to me with this one, and then over here I'm like okay. So then I kind of was like yeah, they about to get together and be talking. Like, just from whatever she said when she got off the phone, I was like, all right, she about to call and vent. I don't really care. And then I popped in their ages and, like, the type of stuff that I was used to. I'm familiar with when it comes to women and just, like, women of certain things. And just, like, you know, all the stuff that you put into place. And I'm like, popped everything that was about to happen right there in the moment. I'm like, well, this about to happen, this about to happen, blah, 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 blah. And sure enough, like, all that shit went down. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then I'm like, so, and I was cool with everybody. Like, I mean, I told the one like we don't gotta be like, I don't gotta be friends. Like, I don't really beef with nobody for real. Like, we can just end it. Like, I don't really. I love black. I'm a black woman. Like, and no matter what some of the other shit is, like, I love me. So I usually the women that are sent my way that I connect with, like, I usually try to be real respectful and be real open, and I'ma see you how I see me, even when I see your shit, and it's gonna always be a lot of grace. And when I allow women in my space so close to me, like, definitely I expect you to hold some shit sacred, right? And I'ma hold some shit sacred, and I'ma talk to you and try to be as honest and everything as possible. But then, like, everything that I knew was gonna happen, happened, and I ain't even care. I just dropped the line, like, across the board. Like, just drop that shit, just drop it. Like, I don't do drama. That ain't really ever been my thing. Like, I participated when I was probably a teenager or whatever, but, like, as far as, like, drama, like, between me and, like, women that, or whatever, like, hey, if you gonna come at me, you gonna have to come at me on your own. Like, we ain't about to do this on my open line. Like, you just go take care of your shit and then come back if it come back around, right? And that's just kind of how I felt, and that's exactly what happened. And then, but the one of them, the one who was upset about the Facebook and stuff, like, apparently she went around talking all kind of shit, like, stuff. So much stuff was coming to me, and I was just like, outside of the first couple times I tried to explain, like, what had went down, like, just telling, like, a brief part of my side of the story to the people that, like, couple people that was closest to me that I really cared to answer to. That was it. Like, I ain't explain nothing else to nobody. I ain't bring it up. Like, we just wasn't friends no more. And I was, I'm all right with it. I'm cool. And that was that. And when I let somebody go, like, oftentimes they just drop off, like, out of my entire everything. Like, my whole memory bank connected to them at some point fucking chops off and disappears into, like, the abyss. Because ain't no point in holding on to dead weight. Hell no. Just go. So, that was that. Like, so one of the girls I haven't talked to since. And then I saw her moving, and I saw her going to, like, I saw her connecting with some people, at first, like, I saw her connecting with some people that I was, like, still cool with, or I wasn't cool with yet, that she had, like, insider knowledge about, like, about as far as, like, if I had an attraction to them, or, like, whatever was going on in my life and my dreams and my gifts and my ancestral gifts and things like that. And I was peeping shit, and I'm just like, well, it ain't none of my business. Like, I don't really gotta do nothing outside of what I'm doing for me to retain and get everything that I'm supposed to have. Like, if it's a test for anybody else, it's a test for anybody else. So if you decide to go over to somebody and, like, decide to that you gonna try to run my name in the mud over there before I get there or after whatever. Like, shit, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just like between y'all and y'all shit. Like, if they meet me and decide to take the lesson, and take that shit on, then okay, then that meant that like you just cleared the room for me before I got there. So that was like the one thing. And then the one girl, the other one, I be trying not to use name, but we didn't talk for a while. Probably like, I don't know if it was like a year or so, and then like she ended up reaching back out to me and apologizing and just saying like, hey, I apologize, I did get caught up. Like, all the stuff that I knew that was gonna happen when I ran the play, that at that moment, without talking to either one of them, she came back and ended up telling me that that's exactly what happened, and like, she apologized or whatever and whatever. So like, we rebuilt our relationship. So when I was outside walking and that came to mind, I'm like, damn, I ain't thought about none of that in a while. And then it took me to like how a bunch of us went to the Apollo Theater, like so many years ago, like, oh my goodness, like 2000 and I don't know, 2007, I don't know. And like, I'm like, something happened on the bus. I feel like something happened on the bus, but I don't know if I had like a flash, I don't want to say a blackout, because I definitely have I have blackouts at times. So like, I definitely have a blackout where I can't remember any of that at all, like any of that time for real. And especially whatever happened on the bus that day, like I don't have any memories, and I feel like something happened. I feel like there was a confrontation. Like, I just remember that I thought, like, because we was in New York City, and I used to love going to New York City, and I was like, oh, I got a bunch of people that I care about and I rock with. Like, we can, after the show, we can just like, because we was down there, we had took the bus, we was on the bus trip, and I was like, we can like walk the city, it'll be night, and we could do this, and then like everybody else had like other things or whatever, and then it was like whatever else was happening, right? And I'm like, well, why is all of this coming to mind? And then I remember one conversation that we had at one point, and she was just saying that like she saw like a vampire. Like, one night she was at the club, and whatever happened, whatever was going on, and she had peeped some shit, and she had walked out or whatever, and then like she saw like whatever was going on, but she was like, she recognized like it was a vampire, and I was like, oh, okay, like spirit, like whatever, like okay, I can see it. And then she was just saying like how they end up like connecting eyes or whatever, like energy, like they end up like their energies, they had a moment, because the vampire decided that like I don't know, but she was just like, they had a moment, blah blah blah, and I was like, I just listened to the story, and as she was telling the story, as I can often do, I was like following it along the best way that I could, because I wasn't there in my head as the picture though, like I was rolling the film, and I'm like, okay, why is all this stuff coming up? And it's like because I've been kind of like getting more of an understanding, like a lot of information been coming to me about like vampire energies and stuff like that, and okay, like okay, but I'm like, damn, that was so long ago. And then it was just kind of like one of the moments where it was like where the past becomes the present or the future, because back then when we were having the conversation, even though it was the first time that conversation and any of that was introduced into my realm and into my world in that capacity, under that light or anything, like the way that I just was able to like see it and accept it and honor it and just keep it moving, like Oh, okay, so how did that make you? I don't even know if I asked like how I made her feel or whatever. Boom, boom. And then I don't even know if she said that like she was worried about it following her home or following her, or like she felt like they had like, I don't know. I can't remember back that far. So I was so that was coming to my mind, and then right after that was coming to my mind like the whole where I started this conversation with about like how a lot of women, the spirits were saying like a lot of women kind of gauged like some of the men, quality men, through how I would be dealing with them for themselves. And I'm like, okay, so then that came through, and then it was like a slew of like different scenarios where I've been in, where like different women that I've been connected with or cool with like went and tapped into something that I had been dealing with or was dealing with, like energetically or whatever, at any point in time, like just going in like, hey, me and such are talking now and I like him. And I'm like, oh, okay, like good to know. And we decided this or whatever. And I'm just like, well, technically he wasn't my man, even if we was like fucking, even if we was really close, even if I thought we like, okay, so like if that's what y'all chose to do, thanks for letting me know. Like I'm gonna go ahead and go this way. And like how many times that happened to me that I didn't even really pay attention to. I just kind of like took it and said okay, and then like we'll keep moving on. Like I don't really know what you want me to say now. Like good luck for y'all. Like I ain't about to stand in the way of nobody else's happiness, period, at all. So if 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 y'all met through me, like us being together or whatever, and y'all met and you aware, like everybody aware of what the fuck going on to whatever degree, and then y'all decided to like exchange numbers and do y'all own thing, and then like and end up where y'all catching feelings and deciding to explore some other stuff together, then like what do I really have to say about that? Like I wish y'all happiness. I wish y'all, cause I ain't, that mean it wasn't for me. Like, and like it don't have to really negate how cool they are. It don't have to negate anything that we had going on. It could just be like, all right, like y'all have fun with that. I'ma just step outside, and like I'm still cool with both of y'all as far like we ain't got no problems. I just know that like I'm gonna go this way. Um, and that was being cool. Like that's what it was for like. I don't even remember. Like when I was outside walking, it was just like, damn, that did happen. Oh, that happened. Oh, I forgot about that one. Like, I forgot about that one too. Like, damn, how many? Well, and then that's when the message came back. Like, you were the pretty much like the light, like the guy, and I'm like, oh, okay, that would make sense. Like, that would make sense, I guess. And then I'm like, hmm, hmm. Okay, like, is that, I guess that's honorable. I mean, I guess it is a compliment. Like, I'm not upset with it because it makes me feel so many things, and especially being that would mean that so many women in my age group, or too many women in my age group, because I'm only one person and I've experienced a lot, and even in experiencing a lot, I'm still like in my own world, right? So I can't say like, oh, everybody. I never do that. I mean, if I do, you just got to be smart enough to know that like I'm one person, and whatever that means, it means. And also knowing that like I am fucking magical as hell, and I be dream walking, shadow walking, like astro traveling and doing all kind of shit up in all kind of other worlds and realms and stuff all the time as well. So there is that. I don't be knowing who I'm connected with all the time, because it feel like I'm connected to everybody some type of intimately. Like so many people for me to be so connected to intimately to not be connected to anybody. And then so it took me to like more recent stuff where having somebody that I'm friends with, and then like having another guy, and then like all the stuff, and I'm like, that was going on. And I ain't ever about to be that woman that's like, can't no woman be around my man or anybody that I'm interested to in, or trying to be possessive to that extent, because like, what the fuck does that do? That's a waste of time and stupid. And like, we all humans, we all beings, we all energetic spiritual beings to some extent. So if somebody is attracted to somebody else, if you're just the most honest about it, like, it really don't matter. Like, if you are capable of handling multiple relationships, you capable of handling multiple relationships. And I feel like don't want nobody really get to say anything about it. They can choose to participate or not. Personally, like, for them. And the most that is like, that happens with like being authentic and honest and open. And I think we miss the mark on that pretty often as a culture in many ways, especially, I don't want to say the men. Yeah, a lot of y'all are very manipulative, absolutely. But women can be manipulative too. Like, y'all all playing like a stupid ass game to me. That like somehow somebody has decided is fun and smart and like all that other dumb shit, what really don't make no sense, because y'all be having y'all feelings hurt at the end of the day, and then it'll be like, oh, you deceived me. Oh, he deceived me. Like, oh, whatever. Like, so I just be like, if really people be honest and we had like open conversations, and if we lived in a environment that was just open, like, we ain't gotta have they fucking rules. Like, at the end of the day, monogamy is monogamy, and y'all have decided that monogamy just means one person, when actually it can be like open and closed. Like, we just got a reserve list. We just choose to like, we gonna try to just dip right here, okay? Or it can just be like this, like, and the way that this society and these cultures like disrespect of like relationships is when they don't fit in a box. Oh, the way that shit pisses me off. Y'all disrespect. Y'all so disrespectful with any culture that y'all don't understand. But it ain't even that y'all don't understand, because y'all don't want to understand it. Y'all just want to be disrespectful. You want to try to think you superior. And that's the one thing that I hate about peoples that have been oppressed for so long, because the little bit of power that y'all get, like the tiniest inch of little motherfucking power y'all get, y'all gotta be like squashed down on the next one. Like, y'all gotta, yeah, that shit is whack. That shit is so whack to me. And y'all just be, it's like the moment that you get a little bit of feeling real good when you look in the mirror, y'all be like looking at the next person to figure out how you can smash their ass back down to keep leveling up how you can look at yourself in the mirror. And I don't really understand that type of logic. Like, that's the most disrespectful trash shit possible, but that's part of the culture. Like, yeah, y'all can have that. Y'all can have it. Because I just be like, so if you see somebody and they announcing that like they happy and they got their family, or they with their man and they happy, and all you see in the comments is, yeah, why he ain't marry her, blah 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 blah, marry me. And I'll be like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. Do you not, have you looked at the damn definition or etymology of like marriage, the traditions, what they actually mean? Are you aware that there are a vast amount of numerous cultures out here that do marriage differently? Like, because just based on the actual, just the word, just the definition of marriage, to bring some shit together, like, you think because they didn't go get a marriage license and have a ceremony that you could see or participate in, or flaunting like a ring on whichever finger, because I can't never remember what hand it is myself. I be like, what damn finger, what hand do your ring finger go on? I'm like, when you get married under that culture, like, is it the right hand? Is it the left? I don't be remembering like myself. So the fact that like, and oftentimes when I look to see if a man is taken, like, I will look at his ring finger, but I'm always looking at both hands, and then I'll be like, well, it don't really matter, because like, well, I guess if it's only one ring on one finger, but then I've met men that ain't married that I know are not married, like, and then they'll have it on just for like, because that's where it fit. So I'm like, But which hand is it anyway? And that's just how I be. Like, okay, if I look down and I see a ring, I guess I just gotta assume like you married if you a man. Like, that's what it is. But then I just be like, essentially, like, y'all be putting all your chips in. I guess that means y'all don't really know much about gambling, but I did work at multiple casinos, and even besides that, like, I would just think, like, I'm betting on the winning hand. I don't fucking know, like, just what looks like it's the winner, right? When you look at the horse races, if you ain't never been there, you watch the horses, and you like, oh, that one look like it's the fastest one. I'm gonna pick that one and go bet on it for you to get something. So when it comes to, like, marriage and, like, European Western cultures, like, that's so popular and, like, blast out that everybody think that everybody's supposed to do it that way, which y'all disrespectful and ignorant if I haven't said that already, then, like, they be really dismissing anything that anybody else has built, like, trying to, like, destroy it simply because it doesn't have this totem that they think that it's supposed to be attached to them. And it's like, y'all don't understand or recognize anything sacred. Like, you mean to tell me that whatever you got going on with the person that you giving your heart to, or the person that you giving whatever to, and that y'all whispering words and everything to, whatever is happening in those exchanges don't mean nothing to you if it doesn't look like this? And necessarily, and this is literally a paper, a judge, a ring, all outside influence. Outside, everything on outside influence. Like, you mean everything that you have now just goes in the trash because, like, that doesn't look like that. So when, like, you see women sharing, like, the happiness of their unions wherever they're at, and then you hear, like, oh, he ain't marrying her. Like, I hate that shit. It put women in such a victim mentality. Like, oh my gosh, like, y'all just want to be the victims of everything. I'm like, women don't know how to be empowered. Like, hey, you fucked him, so be, like, own that shit. If y'all was just fucking or having sex or and enjoying each other's company and spending time together, like, if it didn't necessarily end in the way that you expected it to, then, and which meant, like, forever and ever and ever and, like, all the way out there, then, I mean, so what? Like, do your healing and go back. Now why is it, oh, it's me, and he ruined my life, and he wasted my time, and he took all my good years. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's how I be feeling sometimes. Like, oh my gosh, if you don't just chill out and take some accountability and say that, like, when y'all was having fun, you had fun, and whatever you was in there for, you might have got everything that you wanted, but, like, you wasn't the victim either. Like, you wasn't a victim. You mad because you didn't get whatever the long time security was that you thought you were going to get. Like, and unfortunately, because, like, we do live in a society that has pressed women into being wives without, like, actually anything empowering to go along with that for real, including the fucking counterpart or the men that they supposed to have. How, like, how do you expect anything different to come from that? Because now, at such a young age, you've indoctrinated girls that in order to be valuable, in order to be anything, they have to have a male counterpart. They have to have a love interest. They have to have somebody that's willing to vow their entire life to them right now. And I just be like, y'all know life happens, like, moment after moment, day after day. So, like, if some shit happens, then just mourn it as best as you can and move on. That's the healthiest version of me, because I've been doing a whole lot of mourning in this season that I wasn't expecting to. Like, I'm like, well, whatever needed to come out is coming out. Like, oh, well, and some of this stuff I ain't even, like, where'd that come from? And okay, I'ma just go with it. And the reality is, I still feel like, take control of your own life as a woman, as a female. Like, empower yourself. Is it amazing when you can find partners or a partner that like pour into you and that shit can last till whenever? Absolutely. Absolutely. And whatever the dynamic is, if that lasts until like y'all last physical breath, or just like your last physical breath in that damn union, like it doesn't have to be so. It doesn't have to be so finite, like, and y'all be acting like there's no more life. Like, they left me like this, and despondent, and he stole like my youth. He stole your youth? God damn, like, well, where did it go? Like, how did he how did he steal it? Like, you wasn't conscious that you was spending days and weeks and months with him? What kind of conversations was y'all having? What kind of conversations was you having with yourself? What kind of check-ins was you doing with yourself? Like, I don't even know. Like, at what point did you decide that, like, you wasn't happy being there at whatever it was and decide to walk away for yourself so that you can find better? Like, and then I'm like, yeah, because what they fucking stuff into us as young girls, as far as like our worth being tied right there, it's your damn, like, you hold on to every man that comes along as a lifeline, for real. Like, because back in then when I was thinking that, I had a couple men, I was like, okay, like, I know what it's like to be led by that, and I'm extremely grateful that, like, that's not, that I end up, like, deciding early that I'm not participating in that mentality, that I'm not participating in that culture. So I really just be like, as women, we need a different culture. Like, we need a different rule. We need a different culture. We need different royalty. We need different. And like, I know that what I've been working on is, woo, like, just from me working on the foundation, because I'm always like, I need to create an incredibly strong, solid foundation. So no matter what type of alterations or adjustments or add-ons or anything that I want, expansions or anything else that I want to do, or that is going to come at me unexpected, that the foundation is incredibly strong enough to do whatever it is and to morph it into whatever else it needs to be. So I've been building businesses and communities and everything that's like based off of my character, my morals, like, and this just expanded and evolved every step of the way of my growth. And I'm always putting it in the business plan, like changing my business plan, updating my business plan, and the format of the business plan has stayed the same. And when I see it, I'm just like, I need to buy so much land. I need to do like, I have like everything sectioned off, like up here, everything is like sectioned off for like what I have been creating in my world, in my head, and on paper, to be the answer or be a solution for like so many different issues that I've encountered, experienced, related to, seen secondhand, and all that from like so many different women and so many different men and boys and girls, right? And the only thing that ever hurts my heart about it is the fact that, like, it won't see the light of day. Like, it won't be brought into fruition simply because I don't fit in the boxes of the society that allows you to really build on that level. Like, I'm not white, I'm not a white man, I don't have a bunch of money or any for real right now, like in the physical, in my bank account. Um, no matter how many business plans or businesses that I have shopped around or poured out or shared or anything, like, I don't ever get the funding or the support or the backing or any of it, right? So up here, and like, it's always been okay because I'm like, it don't matter, it's all part of the bigger plan. Like, if it's a no right here, it's okay because that it doesn't change that. Like, it doesn't mean that like I'm no longer gonna do it. It's just still in the plan. Like, because I've had like so many plans in place and like so many things that I have strategized, and like, if I start this business right here, or if I can get enough to like create this and get like something coming in, then like I can move over. Like, after that, get like some income and I get some stuff straight, then I can build on with that. And then that component would need to look like this, and it would need this. And like, okay, like, I already think that I got this, and if I got this right here, then that mean like it'd be quite easier to like attract everything that needs to go with that. And there's already a team and people and blah 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 in place. So boom, that'll be taken care of. Like, I can rest easy. And then like moving over here and just like, okay, and then like tying everything together. Like, so in my mind, like in my head, I have like such this expansive vision that I've been trying to like bring to fruition out here, like piece at a time, and never having like the full support, and not really being surprised because like I'm a black woman, and not only am I a black woman, like I'm a black woman without like really any huge support. Like, I don't really have family support. I don't really have like the community support like I needed it. Like, individual, like I haven't seen it, and I don't give up. Like, okay, like, not here, and it's cool. Like, it just means that I gotta keep like, I mean, I gotta keep going anyway. So it ain't no big deal. It's just like, oh, it would have been nice to have a little bit more income, a little bit more money. But all right. So when I think about relationships, like, that's been a really big piece for me living as experience as all of us. And more important for me, because what I want to build for my kids and for my youth from different things that I've been through, like, it's a lot of layers that I've had to shed, because I can't build what I'm trying to build in that funky ass energy. Like, I'm not teaching my kids that. I'm not regurgitating that shit to them. Like, I'm not recycling that. Heck no. Heck no. Especially not on the level that I'm trying to create and expand on. And good luck. Good luck. It's a no for me, dog. So when I was outside and I was like walking, I'm like, okay, why is all of this coming here now? Like, why is all of this coming to head, like, to my thoughts right now as I'm walking? Because a lot of times when I'm walking and stuff be coming up, I'm like, I be paying attention, because it often means like something important that is going to maybe re-show itself later. Like, it's going to later, like, it's like, okay, this came now, and whether I'm ruminating on it or whether I really understood it or grasped it or anything when it came through, like, it's here. And when I continue to like go this way, like, it's going to catch me over here, and this is what it's going to look like. So it's like, I'll get it, and then like I'll see some of the inner workings, I guess I'll say. And then like when it comes up here, I'm like, damn it, okay, like, I kind of like, that makes sense now. So when I was walking outside, I'm like, why is all this old stuff coming up? Like, And I'm like, I felt her really strong in my energy. Like both of the women that I spoke on, I felt like really strong in my energy, like early on in my psychic break. And I wasn't sure why it was important. I'm like, some stuff that I forget, like I told you, like my memory be tricky. But I'm like, some stuff that like will kind of sprout its way back up, but won't let me grab a hold of the whole thing. Like sometimes I can tap into something that happened in the past, normally in like a sleep state or something, but it won't stay long for me to really grasp a hold of it. So I'm like, one of the girls that I had fell out back with then, I'm like, there was a point of time where I went to a jail with her, like out far somewhere. And like we hadn't, I don't know like how much we had been talking. This was before we fell out. And we hadn't been like really talking that much. Cause you know, friendships and stuff go in season. And like sometimes we like always, like we used to be always together. And when I say like always together, there were my, like, I'm like, I had totally forgot that with my lucid dreaming, sleepwalking, astral travel, whatever, all my stuff, like my warrior abilities, she had like, I remember her like divulging to me information about like her family, like her mom, her dad, her brother, and everything, and saying some things to me. And then like I remember in my sleep, like sometimes spend the night at her house or whatever, um connecting with her dad and like being transported to like situations in her past that like maybe she had been uncomfortable with, or like I don't always remember what the women share with me because it's not my job to hold it. Like I don't hold on to nobody else's pain if I can, because it's not mine. Like I got a way enough pain of my own, so like I can hear you, I can hold space for you, I can try to be like supportive and comforting and everything. And like so often I don't try to like carry on nobody else's stuff. And I remember being transported to like some stuff with her and her dad or whatever she had, or whatever, like some things that she had shared. And then like I am a medium, right? So I remember communing with her dad, um and I'm like, I think she told me that he had taught her how to box or something, and it feels like I was protecting her in the dream space, like. And then I remember her brother being there and like her mother at times, but it was definitely like her brother, her dad, and her. I remember, and I remember like protecting her. And I don't remember anything else. And I'm like, damn, I had totally forgot about that too. So I don't, like I said, when things peek out at me, like when they like raise their head, like, hey, I'm like, okay, because the truth is, I have a lot of experiences in the under realm, other realms, and I don't always recall them when they come up, and I don't know what it looks like on the other side, right? Like I've never had anybody say to me like, "Oh, I had a dream about you," or like, I mean, I have, like, I had one girl tell me that she had a dream about me, and like the dude I was messing with, kind of on, I was definitely on the low to me. Like I don't really be letting nobody in my business, like for what? And usually I only tell a couple people, and I actually wasn't even going to tell her when I told her, like, but it was like, okay, like I was like so excited, and I was like, this is a different girl, and I was like, okay, and I had told her, and And I was like, I think I told 4 people, like, at first, like, well, just 2, and then, like, I added 2 more, because I'm like, they gonna tell each other anyway, so I'm gonna just tell them. And so, but I kept this real close to me, and I remember one time she came to me, and she was like, she saw him putting me in the trunk of the car or something, but, like, the way she was describing it was like he was kidnapping me or something, or I was like, what the hell? Like, I was drugged. I think she said, like, I was drugged. And then he put me in the trunk. And then whatever else. And then, the other one was just, like, of me being abroad. And something else was happening. I was one other place. And then she said, like, she saw me, go to Tanzania. And, like, in Tanzania, I had met with, like, or maybe I met a woman. And we got really close. I was out traveling, and maybe I met a woman, we got real close. And then, like, I ended up finding out she was from Tanzania or something. And then, like, she took me, like, and I was like, okay. So then, like, since I was traveling, she took me to Tanzania. Like, I decided to go to Tanzania with her. And, like, and that's where I started, like, like, one of the communities that I already want to build. Like, I want to build communities. And, like, she saw me there working with the kids and, like, stuff like that. And she was like, you didn't come back home. Like, you was just living in Tanzania. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like something I would do. And when she was telling me, like, always, like, I could picture it happening. And then, like, like, a couple years later, I saw, like, some people that I had came across that was connected to another girl. Actually, the ex that I had got checked about. Like, him and his lady had moved to Tanzania. And I thought it was, like, the dopest thing. Like, oh my God, I thought it was so dope. I thought that was the dopest thing. Like, watching another black couple. Like, well, I be traveling by myself or with one of my nieces, but, like, watching a black couple, like, up and, like, go to Tanzania, like, that was dope. Because that's definitely on my travel wish list. Like, I've been dreaming about Tanzania for even before, like, Clarity, because when old girl told me she had a dream, like, I've been dreaming about visiting Tanzania for so many years. Oh my gosh, like, before probably anybody else was really thinking about it. And, like, they just always been out of my budget so far. Because even when I was looking at, like, doing, like, volunteering and stuff, like, I couldn't really, it wasn't really making sense to me, so I couldn't do it. But, like, outside of that, like, I ain't really had, like, many people say, like, they had dreams about me. Like, even when one of my girls I had that's transitioned, when she used to tell me, like, she had a vision about me or something like that, she would just say it like that. Like, I saw this for you, and, like, we would sit on the counter, like, or I would be sitting on the counter, like, my some of my favorite conversations used to take place in, like, the kitchen, on the counter, like, and I'm always, like, hopping my ass on the counter top and sitting and talking. Or, let me see, the kitchen, the car, absolutely, like, and also, like, I prefer to listen to music in the car. I think most of us do. Like, don't be trying to, shh. Like, don't talk to me, just shh. Everybody like the vibe. Well, I don't know, because a lot of people like talk radio and, like, people talking to them when they're in the car. Don't talk to me. Let me either sit in silence or let me vibe out to my music. If I really want to engage in conversation, I probably will, but for the most part, like, hey, everybody enjoy the ride. I prefer to have the windows down when I'm on the highway, because I prefer, like, fresh air over manufactured fake air anytime. Like, what? But yeah, like, I've had different women come up to me about different visions they've had of me or whatever, and that's, like, women that I hold sacred and close, like, period. And I'm like, okay, and usually when they come, I'm like, yeah, that's about right. Like, I used to tell my nieces all the time, like, don't let nobody in, cause you know, you hear, I mean, if you've been a part of the church and you see the different prophets come up and you see all of this stuff, but even then, like reading the Bible, I used to be like, well, y'all out of order essentially, because who is the translator, like, of any of this stuff when you talking in like foreign tongues? Like, it says right here you should have a translator. Who translating? I don't know, but like I used to study all that stuff. Like when I tell you I used to study that word. I used to study the word across versions, across dictionaries, across encyclopedias, across etymology, across language. Like when I could tap into it, across energy, like across denominations. Like I done touched on almost all the denominations in the Christian church at least once. Like I done been there at least once. The only thing I don't think I actually publicly went into was like the Jehovah, like the Jehovah Witness temple, because they have, wait, do they have a temple? Is it called a temple for hall? The hall. And I still like connected with people that were Jehovah Witness. Like even when I was in Senegal, the man that was from Cameroon, that was at the hostel that we were renting, like he had a room too, and we became cool, friendly. He was from Cameroon, and he was a Jehovah Witness, and I remember that blew me. I was like, what? What do you mean? And like we had that conversation. So although I haven't been inside of a hall, I have connected and conversed with like Jehovah Witnesses on many depths of conversation. It depends on where I'm at, because I got to a point like when I'm tapped out of Christianity, and especially and like really tapped out like after that first like passion of blah 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 blah, and realizing like I don't really want to argue. I don't really want to talk, like I don't really want to discuss it. I don't really want to feel like I have to defend it or explain why I walked away. Well, explain why you still there, you know, like. So I just kind of had dropped it. And so when I was outside walking, again, y'all see how my mind be going. I was just asking myself, and I was asking my spirit team, like, why is all of this coming up right now? And then like it was leading me to do a video. So I'm like, okay, I can, whatever, we can do that. But like, where is this supposed to lead? Like, what am I supposed to say in the video? And then I'm like, well, I guess I'll just press like record, and it'll be whatever it is. Like, as always, I don't really put too much thought into this when I go on here right now. I just kind of feel like y'all gonna get what y'all get. Like, I'm on a journey myself, having such drastic changes physically and mentally and emotionally and everything, like, right? Like, shit, I'm trying to gather it together. Y'all it is what it is. And having like all my psychic abilities, like, well, so many of them decide to like flush my damn system at one time, and having so many messages of like being under spiritual attack, being under like being protected, being like, oh, it was like an influx of information and spirits coming through wanting to talk. And I'm like, hey, y'all talking to me, or y'all like, are these spirits attached to like somebody in the living, or still like the dead? Like, I remember when I used to talk to y'all, like I used to see y'all and talk to y'all frequently under there, and I still do to some extent, like, but like it's so many of y'all at once in my head right now. Like, it don't feel like this was a natural occurrence, to the fact that like my physical vessel changed quick, like drastically. Oh, I was like, okay. And it is what it is. Like, I know what my health look like. I know what my physical health look like. So whatever else is happening, I guess that shit is happening. What I'm gonna do about it? Like, what I'm gonna do about it? What I'm gonna do but just like look in the mirror and be like, all right, we got something new to get used to now. Like, who the hell is you? Me? I'm me. Like, at the end of the day, whatever the vessel is, it's attached to my soul. Like, it's attached to my spirit. So I think when I finally got to the doctor, but I had gained some weight back. I lost like by the time when she took my weight, I was like down 26 pounds or more. Cause I was like at 127 pounds, and then I was like at 95. No, I was under 95. I was under 95 pounds. Like when I saw my weight change in the mirror, like, and I was seeing it, and I'm like, damn. And then by the time I actually like went to because I had went to it. I mean, eventually, like I went to the ER, but it was for something else, and they ain't really do nothing. And then when I got home, and I had a doctor's appointment or whatever, and they weighed me and everything. Like I was down to like under 95 pounds, and I was like, okay, what the hell, like 90 something pounds. I ain't been 90 something pounds since I don't remember when. Even when I was in, I think even when I was in like high school, I was like 115 for a long time. Because the heaviest I ever got was like 134, and that's when I was pregnant. I was like 4.5 months pregnant when I had got to that weight. And then like during COVID, I had went and they told me I was like 130. I was back at my pregnancy weight, and I was like, oh shit, like this grown woman weight, like I'm filling out. Okay. And then it drops like the next year because my weight would usually be like about 124 to 127. Like it would fluctuate between there. So then when I dropped all that weight and I was like under 95 pounds, I'm like, all right, whatever. Like I'm looking in the mirror and it's a whole nother person, and it's still me. So like now I just gotta figure out how I feel about this new body and what I'm gonna do to like make it mine, like make me feel all right. And if this is what it is, I'm gonna look at myself every day and appreciate myself and love on myself and appreciate my new beauty, like, because I'm still me, I'm still beautiful, I don't give a fuck. Like, so that was that. That was that. Like, it wasn't no point in having a meltdown. I ain't really used to doing that. Like, I don't really, my life haven't really never had afforded me that pleasure. And so I guess I took it. Like, I've had like meltdown after meltdown after meltdown after meltdown after meltdown after meltdown this last, 9 months? Almost, well, pretty much a year. Let's just say a year. I can't keep track. I ain't went back. So like, but I am at a year since I went to Jamaica. Yeah, so, and like my second day in Jamaica is when I started noticing my physical changes. I'm like, damn. And then they just kept like the weight, and then it just like kept going and going and going. And then I was like, so I'm like, okay, whatever is happening is happening. Like, it's happening. I know that I'm healthy. I'm whatever. So that was pretty much that. And then like, so it was the weight change first, and then it was like the bombarding of like all the damn voices and like all of the energies. Like the telepathy opened up. It was so much coming through, like so much coming through. And then somewhere in there, however, like, and I said it was a couple days, but no, I think it was like a couple months later, because like time was like merging to me. Like I felt so stuck, but like so much was going on. And like I said, time was like merging to me, but like I felt like it was a couple days later, but I'm like, no, I think it was a couple months when I got like a message that came through that like showed me like that it was energy. It said like that it was energy. Like it showed me, and then it showed me like it showed like I saw me, and I saw like a thick black cloud of like, oh, that shit was like disgusting. Just think like a black cloud of thick ass smoke like coming off of my body when I hit Jamaica. Like that shit just was like, it was like boom, like something hit me, and like the cloud of like black thick smog type whatever like came off, and it was just like, and then I got the like the telepathic or like the internal spiritual message that it was energy. Like it was telling me that like my weight loss was energy coming up off of me. And I was like, ew. Like when I thought about it, I was like, I can't think about like what that meant and what that entailed. Not only because at that point in time, also I had really started blocking people. Like I had kept getting spiritual messages, like telepathic message or spiritual, like I don't know where. And I'm just like, it kept saying like very. I was getting like a resounding, I had too much energy and I need to release it. So like I started like blocking people and just like cutting people out of my life, like just cutting people out. I didn't know it was gonna be out of my life, but it was just like I'm connected to too much right now, like too much, too much, too much. And like whoever probably taking up the most space in my energy field, they gotta go. And then it was like a level of like, who do I trust as well inside of all of that? And at this point in time, like for the most part, I'm alone. Like I'm alone like 98% of the time. Like for real, outside of work, like I trust myself. I trust myself. I'm gonna pour into myself. Like, and it also being like that transition of time of like having something different. Like, I'm not about to keep living my life like this. Like, this is not what I want. It's not what I've been asking for. And like, clearly I said that I would sacrifice whatever to get to like my vision and my goal. And like before I even got to Jamaica, I had already finished my vision and my goal to whatever point. Like I had my damn flag up. Like I was excited for like the completion. Oh, I was so excited about like so many things that I have accomplished in my damn vision board and my everything. And I was like, fuck going to somebody for like if I can't get no damn help, I'ma do it myself, which is always where I'm at. Like I can do this myself. I just gotta do it in increments. It would be great if I had like the correct back end, but like, man, bump this. I can just do it. I can figure it out. Cause it's kind of hard to feel like how I'm gonna delegate. Like, well, I told you this. I told you like, it's just be like whatever. So I don't know why I had to put this message out here, and I just be like, at some point in time, when somebody listening, they're gonna get something, whatever they receive or whatever they don't. I don't know if it was if it was more so supposed to be like a message on like relationships for people. And definitely I do feel like we disrespectful to a lot of other cultures, like, and I really do wish people would stop doing that. Like, just because it's your tradition, and it ain't even our tradition. I be like, hey, the way we be defending stuff that's not even ours, like that keep us in so much trash crap that's not beneficial, like the way that y'all like to possess, and it ain't even no big deal if that's the same thing that they want. But like a lot of y'all, it don't even be the same thing that y'all want. Like y'all be fighting y'all own desires, y'all be fighting y'all own truths for what? Goodbye. If y'all, man, goodbye. I gotta